Hello everybody, Reverend Dr. Red here. I'm gonna be doing a couple of videos going over different possible scenarios of the false flag attack. It's not going to be just one attack. There's going to be a series of attacks, as I've stated in a previous video. We'll also say it's either going to be one major attack or a series of smaller attacks. What's looking more likely is going to be a series of smaller attacks or small-scale attacks. And it's going to be happening within the next 5 months. A scenario that I feel could possibly be a very serious threat is an EMP attack. They've been setting up for years. You've been paying attention to the news and different radio shows that have people on that are kind of like experts in different areas. They've been setting it up where it's becoming a known thing that if you blow up a nuke mid-air before it even touches the ground, can wipe out the entire power grid of that area. If you do it big enough over the skies of America, you can wipe out the entire nation, as well as taking out some parts of Canada and some parts of Mexico, along with wiping out mainland America. Now, I don't think that anything's going to take place that's going to wipe out the entire continental U.S. But I do believe that there's going to be an area or a region of the U.S. that's going to receive such an attack, and all their devices or anything electronic is going to be done for. Just completely done. It's not working. And it's not going to be one of those scenarios where it'll take a couple of months, a couple of years to get it back up and running again. It's literally going to be a good 100, 150 years before we can get electricity or anything flowing back through wherever this EMP attack takes place. There's numerous documents, videos, and websites that talk about this. So all you got to do is Google it, and all the information is there. This has been a topic of discussion for a couple of years now. And right now, they're setting it up where this EMP attack could possibly be coming out of Iran. Because now they're working on a nuclear program, and they've mentioned that if Israel attacks them, they're going to attack us, and they allegedly already have people in place here in the States to enact this act of terrorism against the U.S. And that they also want to be able to get into the Gulf of Mexico. So now it's being said, well, if they get into the Gulf of Mexico and they have a nuclear missile, and they launch this missile into the skies of America and blow it up mid-air, and there's your EMP attack. And I think that is a very, very real threat. However, I don't think it's going to happen the way they're setting it up to happen. Right now they're setting up the propaganda and everything where when such an attack takes place, they'll be able to easily make everybody believe the attack originated from Iran, because the Iranians want ships in the Gulf. Iran threatened to attack the U.S. if Israel attacks Iran. But the reason why I think that they're going to blame it on Iran, and it isn't exactly going to be Iran, is because of what's going on right now with all the cell phones and all the mobile devices. And I could be wrong about this, but I don't know. I want to be wrong about this. All I do know, if I'm right, and this video goes viral, and everybody becomes aware of this possibility, of this particular scenario, and other people start researching this particular scenario and get the information out to people, there'll be so many people here in America that'll be awake to what's going on that they might actually decide against doing this because they won't be able to blame Iran. Everybody's gonna know that they did it to us. They being the current regime. It's no different than Hitler. When Hitler got his full power over Germany, he managed to get it where he was dictator, and at that point in time, the government system is now null and void, and we ran into the beginning of Nazism in Germany because of a false flag attack, where he blew up his own parliamentary building and blamed it on the communists and on the Jews. And you use that to allow himself to become dictator of Germany. That is what the current regime, whether you want to believe Obama's the head of it or you want to believe he's just a puppet, it really makes no difference as far as what's actually taking place. But the current regime is trying to do the same thing. They want America dead. They want us to be a third world country. They want a dictatorship. They want to end the free world. The only way that they're going to be able to pull that off is on a false flag attack, get everybody to believe their propaganda of who really caused and who's really behind it, wage a war against these people, and at times of war, no matter what nation you were in history, at times of war, 9 times out of 10, the elections are suspended. And there has been moments in history where different nations actually had their constitution or their sets of laws that they suspended. And while they were suspended, they snuck in and just took over the country and started the reign of a dictatorship. That's what we're watching happening right now, right before our eyes. And how I think they're doing it, I think they're setting it up right now. Right now, all Putnam County, Florida, our phones are down. The main carrier in this area is AT&T because Verizon just doesn't have that much of a reach in this area. I don't believe Sprint's anywhere in the county. And then the only other options are the prepaid services, TracFone and Net10. Over the past couple of months, people have been having problems with their services, as well as myself. If you follow me on Twitter or on Facebook, you'll see that I've been documenting my problems as I've been having them. And my phone got to the point where I couldn't even open up my email. It started turning on and off by itself. The phone's overheating. The phone is having problems making phone calls. I'm having problems connecting to the internet. All kinds of things. And in the beginning, I thought, well, it was just my phone. After spending a couple of hours in AT&T, I determined that it's not the phone. It didn't matter because everybody was complaining about it. I was there for hours, and everybody was complaining about their phones. Didn't matter if you had any model Android, if you had the iPhone, you had an AT&T phone. Everybody's having the same problems, and people at the store, including the management, could not tell us what the problem was. They said that they contacted corporate, and corporate could not tell them what the problem was. Well, they know that there's a problem going on and that they're working on fixing it. Now, I don't know how they can be fixing a problem and they don't even know what the problem is, but they claim that they're working on taking care of the problem. They just can't tell us what the problem is, and they can't give us an approximate time frame of when everything's going to get better. Uh, so what I would like for all of you to do is to send this video out, copy it, share it out there with everybody on Facebook, Twitter, any social networks. Link up to it on your website. Do whatever you gotta do to get this video out there. And in the comments section, I'd like for you to tell me if you're having problems with your mobile device. Where I don't care if it's a cell phone, a tablet, a netbook, anything. If you're having problems with it, where it's either deleting stuff by itself, installing stuff all by itself, turning on and off by itself, overheating for no reason, having problems sending to the internet, having problems making a phone call, just any kind of problem. In the comment section, let me know what area of what state you're in and the carrier that provides your service. Based on everybody's responses, I'll get back up on here and let everybody know based on everybody's responses and based on any new breaking news as far as what's going on right now between Iran and Israel, how much of a serious threat this potential EMP false flag attack is, and if it is a serious threat, if it is actually going to happen, then one, we're going to have to make sure that this information gets viral, where everybody knows about it, and hopefully by the majority of the people knowing about their plans to do this, it'll thwart their plans because now they'll know that nobody will buy into their lies and their propaganda. And we're gonna know that it was actually not that did the attack. And I will also be able to determine, if this attack does take place, how large of an area is going to be affected, and how large of an area is going to wake up one day and they're going to have literally no electricity whatsoever, and all their electronic devices are going to be completely fried. So please, if you're watching this video, let me know if you're having problems with your devices and what area of what state you're in, and approximately how long ago these problems initiated with your carrier. If you have any further information on this, please let me know. I'll be back up on here on this series of videos with more information as I get to it. And as far as false flag attacks are concerned, I'll be up here doing more videos on those as well. Anything that starts looking like it's starting to hold some weight as far as being a potential false flag attack, I'll make sure that word gets out. But right now, this particular scenario, they've been working on for years. As far as, well, we know if we shoot a nuke into the air, can at just the right level blow it up, it'll fry all the electronic devices. No more electricity, no more electronics, no more anything. It will literally be thrown back into the 18th century. They've been discussing this for years. Within the past couple of days, I've been noticing that in the news, they've already been setting it up to blame Iran. And then there's the fact that what I originally thought was a problem with first just my model phone, my model Android, Samsung Infuse. From doing all research into the matter, I discovered that this problem spreads across the entire Android system. Doesn't matter what model Android you have, everybody seems to be having these similar problems to this. Most of the people that I've been hearing this from have only had their problems start within the past couple of months. My problem started 3 months ago. The earliest problem I can see that the phones were having started about 5 to 6 months ago. Then I went on to AT&T, and I discovered that apparently it's a carrier-wide problem, or at least carrier-wide within the county, a county-wide problem with AT&T. What I would like to discover now, with the help of all of you, is if this is just a problem in my county. Is it a problem with just AT&T? If you have an iPhone or an Android with Verizon, are you also experiencing problems making phone calls? Are you experiencing problems with apps being deleted, apps installing themselves, the phone turning themselves on or off, problems connecting to the internet? If you have Sprint, what kind of problems are you having? Are you having problems with Sprint? Um, I would like to determine how large of a scale this problem really is. If it's confined to just my county, if it's nationwide, but it's only within AT&T. If it's only a particular region of the country, but it spans all the carriers. So please, if you have any problems, let me know where you are and your phone carrier, so I can try to figure out how large of a scale this problem really is, and if this is a setup that's going on right now, where they're going to pull something, and from their end, kill all of the mobile devices and a lot of the electronic devices, and try saying that it was an EMP attack against us, against the U.S., from Iran or from any of the nations over there. I'd like to hope that I'm wrong about this, but the EMP attack, based on what I'm seeing right now, is a very real threat as far as being a false flag attack. And depending on how large scale of a problem this problem is as far as the mobile devices are concerned, there's just more evidence that this could be a false flag attack, not actual attack. And I would like to determine if it's going to be an actual attack, if it's going to be an attack, if it's a false flag attack, if it's going to be a false flag attack, how much of an area they're looking at taking out. So please help me out here. If you have any information on this topic, let me know. If you're having any problems with your mobile devices, let me know what the area you're from and your carrier or your service provider, so I can try to determine how large of a scale this problem is and how much of a threat this particular false flag attack scenario is. And here again, I would love to be wrong about this, but where the evidence that's piling up right now is suggesting otherwise. And like I said, I've been paying attention to this for years. Up until now, I didn't see anything come across the news media where I found an urgency to do a broadcast like this to try to get the information out there on a as large and as a wide scale as possible, because it just didn't seem like it wasn't happening. It didn't seem feasible. It wasn't holding any weight. Now, this particular scenario seems to be starting to get to the point where it's actually holding some weight. Not only are they still discussing the potential of an EMP attack coming from an enemy nation, they're now going ahead and setting it up to blame it on Iran. And what's happening right now with a lot of the mobile devices, and nobody can seem to explain the problem. Nobody can seem to really have any definitive answers within the corporations that provide service to these devices, or the corporations that make the devices, Um, I feel something big is definitely going on here, and we're definitely going to see something take place really soon. And I would love to be wrong about that, but in the event that I'm right, I would like to have as many people out there in the know before it happens. This way, if enough people know, we might be able to get the attack to stop from happening at all. Might be able to prevent it from happening. Um, and if not, then at least enough people will know about it so that when it does happen, they're well aware of what happened. And whoever still has the ability to hop on the internet and broadcast information out can start paying really close attention to the aftermath of this potential attack and what's being done to uh, take care of it and fix the problem, as well as come into the area that was affected and start questioning people of what they saw, what they might be getting told to say or not to say, um, and different things like that, and just try to get the word out to anybody who isn't affected from this potential attack. Now, I know all the people would like to feel that we're safe and this can't happen. But I'm going to say, if you haven't already taken the red pill, you got to take the red pill and wake up. Open your Bible and start paying attention to the news. Not just the mainstream news media, but all the news. And it's all right there, right in front of your face. I mean, you really can't miss any of this. And like I said, this has been going on for a couple of years, and it wasn't holding any weight until now. Now it looks like they're actually at the point where they're setting up um, for a scapegoat. And it looks like they're going to be making Iran that scapegoat. Where they're going to be the ones to pull the attack, where we'll see some kind of explosion or feel some kind of vibration from an explosion. And then anybody that's in a predetermined affected area will just lose all their electricity, and all their electronic devices will be fried. And they're gonna have it. And it looks like that when they do this, they're setting it up where it'll be rather believable to suggest that Iran posed this attack against the American people. Now, granted, yes, I will admit that Iran is a very serious threat. Allegedly, they say that they will attack us if Israel attacks them, and they made the suggestion that they do have people already in America stationed for such an attack. So I'm not going to deny the fact that Iran is a very serious threat. Nukes or no nukes, they're a serious threat. But the fact that we're talking about these EMP attacks for years, but it can only be done with a nuclear bomb of some sort, and now Iran's got this nuclear program going on, everybody's immediately starting to make this shift that, well, if Iran can get into the Gulf of Mexico, not only can they launch missiles onto American soil, but they can have a nuclear missile for an EMP attack. Well, okay, but you needed Iran to suggest this. Iran's always been an enemy as far as I know. You needed them to suggest they're going to attack us before you're going to come up with this idea. Why couldn't you mention this as a possibility a couple years ago when you first started talking about the EMP attacks and the possibilities of them going down? And when this topic was first getting spoken about, everybody covered just about every enemy nation of the U.S. that can possibly do this. Whether it be short range, where they gotta have a naval vessel within range to fire missiles at us, or if they have long range missiles that they can fire them from wherever their country is, and it'll just soar through the skies until it gets to us. I mean, even if Iran didn't have nuclear power back then, they should have realized the possibility, of them getting their own nuclear program or buying nuclear devices from one of their allies. So it just seems all this just seems kind of odd to me that all of a sudden we're going to look at Iran as a possible scapegoat for this attack, and a little coincidental that we have all that's going on with Iran, and then all these devices are going to start screwing up and malfunctioning. And a little ironic how a lot of this actually plays in the Bible prophecy. And we bring this information out there because this is actually going to lead into, if another war breaks out and something serious happens, that's pretty much going to put the elections in Obama's pocket, and he knows it. His whole regime knows it. And whoever the elite wants to make dictator is now dictator of the United States of America. They won't even be United States of America anymore. Like I said, this is how Hitler did it. What the guy just compare how Hitler took control, and look how we're being taken control of. It's the same way. It's the same thing. And there is no difference. And like I said, if you look at Bible prophecy, it's all there. And this war that's coming isn't being made to be looked at as Armageddon or the final war that ends all wars. And whoever manages to stop the war people are going to assume that's Jesus Christ. This character is actually going to make himself, is actually going to call himself Jesus. So right there we have the fact that this is not the real Armageddon. Jesus will reveal himself when the time is right. What the war we are about to see now is the false Armageddon. The battle before the battle, so to speak. They're setting the stage. We are about immediately following these false flag attacks. We're going to see the Antichrist revealed. Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears open. Stay aware of what's going on. Don't give up. Keep on spreading the word. Make this video viral. Get the information out there. And please, if you're having any problems with any removable devices, netbooks, tablets, cell phones, whatever, especially if everything was fine up until somewhere in the past 5 months, and then all of a sudden these problems kicked in with your device, and based on my personal experience, the problems get worse. Let me know what area of what state you're living in can have these problems in, and what your carrier of your device is, what your service provider is. So I can try to determine if this is going to go down the way I feel it's going to go down. You must be inform enough people about it and try to scare them to doing it this way. Or if it is actually going to go down, I can take all the information that you give to me, and information I find on the internet, and information I find that gets leaked across the news media, where I can try to map out as accurate as possible area that's going to be affected by this. So when it happens, the people being affected will be prepared for it, as well as those that won't be affected will be prepared for it, as far as be prepared for themselves to try to prevent it happening to them, as well as how they'll be able to help those who do get affected by such an attack. So please, if you have any problems, the area of the state you live in, and the carrier or service provider of your device. And copy link, share, whatever you gotta do to get this video out there, get this information out there. If you have information that I didn't cover in this video on this particular topic, please let me know. And I'm going to continue looking around for more information to see what I can find. And I will see you in the next video. Until then, thank you for watching, and God bless.